I've had some questions asked about my GoPro and how I like it and what are the pros and cons of the camera, and so I'm going to do a quick second video. I've already done one, but I'll try and get a little bit more detailed in it. So, we've got the camera, got the Wi-Fi remote, it's the housing. They make several different versions. This is just a standard one, the one that's waterproof, except I dremel the hole in it to take my cable. Now you don't have to do that. You can get this case, which will keep it completely waterproof. The only bad thing about that is that you can't hook up external power and you can't hook up an external mic. So, but if you are going to be in wet conditions, if it's raining or even though I've had mine in the rain anyway, but if it's raining or you're really going to be underwater, then you have to use this case without the dremel hole. This is a battery backpack. It gives you an extended, I think, an hour and a half. I think that's what it is. That is my new Trent external battery, which I used to use 1000 milliamps. And that is the combo cable, which has, you hook it up to your camera and then you can hook it up to an external power. You can also run audio and video to a monitor or a TV, and that is an external hookup for the mic. And then all of that runs into the camera through its USB or mini USB. That's a regular battery, just your old standard. I think they're a 45-minute. And this is an LCD monitor, or I don't know what they call it. It's an LCD snap-on for the camera. So let's talk about the camera and the Wi-Fi remote. The Wi-Fi remote is supposed to have a runtime of 5 to 6 hours. From the remote, you can scroll through all of the settings on your camera, and if I had a SD card in there, I would show you can take pictures, you can start the video, stop the video, you know, whatever you can do, and it also shows what's going on your remote too, Wi-Fi remote. So, does it take down the time of the battery or of the camera? Yes, it does, supposedly by 10%. And again, the actual battery only lasts for the remote about 5 to 6 hours. So, for me, I plug mine up during a downtime to get an extra boost when I have it on the water. So, here's how I use my system. Oh, and I forgot, this is another external power, 12 volt. So here's what I do. I used to run my camera, and it's kind of chaotic on my boat right now. But here's my power supply for that. And what it is a power supply that runs into a PVC tube that I have that runs up my boat to my mount, and then put it down. Up top here, I have my cables. This is the cable that hooks up to the GoPro camera, and that's my mic. So basically what I do, it's hard to do this one-handed, but let me hook it up and then I'll show you. So it's like that. Hooked up to the mic, hooked up to the external power supply, or the USB cable, sorry, that's all that is. It's a USB cable that I've run down through this tube, which comes out here, and then there's the USB end. And so what I used to do was just plug it into this, and that was my external power. So what I do now is I take my little cigarette adapter, 12-volt USB. You can get these from anywhere. I would say get one with a fuse just as a precaution. But as you can see, I've already fused mine anyway. So this is an Atwood 12-volt accessory, and it just plugs into there. And so now what I do is I plug my USB. Sorry, I know it's not the best camera work. Plug my USB into there, which that cable, as I said, runs into my PVC thing, runs up there. And so now when I plug my camera in, I've got power. And I'll show it to you. So, again, what I used to use is that. Is it a good way to do it? I think so. The only bad thing is that when you run this thing down, it does take a long time to charge, which is like 5 or 6 hours. So when I was out fishing a long time and I wanted to just turn around and fish again, well, I didn't always have that thing juiced up. So wasn't the best thing for me if you were going to do a 1 or 2, or you were going on a trip where you were just going to do a bunch of fishing back to back. As I said again, with the backpack is something you can use if you're going to be shooting, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 hours. And the backpack charges the same way the camera does, through that mini USB, or the Motorola jack, I should say. I think that's what they call it. So here's how it works. And I'll show you the accessories. Sorry, I'm one-handed. The backpack snaps in like that. What I also used to use the backpack for is when I plug the backpack in, it gives me 2 jacks. And before I had this universal cord, just get the cord. Because what I had to do was, one jack, this one, I plug my mic in. External mic. And that's if you're running external mic. And I would say yes, because the mic on the camera is sorry. And then I would plug the other external power supply into the backpack. So when I didn't have this, I only had one option. I could either have the mic, or I could have the power. So I had to get this to get both. So basically I charge through this, which charges this battery, which powers the camera. So when you get that, you just have one. It's a combo, and that one just plugs right into here, and hence that's where the hole is dremelled into my you know what I'm saying, the cover. So back to that, a good option to start out with. A better option is definitely that. And like I said, I went with the Atwood, that little 12-volt accessory, because now I just plug my camera in. I don't worry about whether that's charged or whether it's fully charged, or it's just running straight to my battery, one of my trolling batteries, which supplies it more than enough power. And it just keeps the camera continuously running. And so, again, I just drill the hole, put a grommet in there, not really neat, silicone, just to keep it waterproof and everything. The cable runs up, and this is the mount. And I'll put a link in there which mount it is. It's a handlebar or bicycle mount or something. But it does a good job. I'm going to stop this so I can hook up the camera and you can see. Okay, so back. There's the cord, the combo cord. And it's all hooked up. And like I said, sorry, it's hard to do this one-handed. But that's where it goes in right there. Bam. And let me see if I can get it to show you. Okay, so if I can try and, it's not gonna, you can kind of see the bars going across showing that it's recording. It's down at the bottom. Not recording, sorry, charging. So that's the setup right there. I think the mount is great. You can swivel it around. Well, I can swivel the whole pole around anyway. But you can tilt this, you know, any angle you want. And if you wanted to loosen it, you could turn it. So you could pretty much position it in any way you want to cover whatever you're trying to cover. So that's pretty much it. I know I probably could have gone in more detail, and I probably will in another video when I sit down at a table and actually show you the pieces a little bit better. But I wanted to show what it is and talk about some of the pros and cons. And while I'm talking about it, let me say that, you know, there's 3 different cameras. There's a 1, a 2, a 3, and then there's some different versions of the 3. There's the black, I have the silver, there's a white. If you want the battery, if you want the Wi-Fi, the extended battery, the monitor, you're going to have to get a 3 at this point in time anyway. The other thing about, I don't believe that the 2 or the 1 will shoot and charge at the same time, which is a major downfall for me because I just want mine to continuously run. Could you get like 10 batteries and just keep switching out every hour? Yeah, you could. And it does alert you when you're out of battery, but it's a pain. So, you know, for me, you either go with the, you know, the Nutrient, the extended external battery, and you run it that way, or, you know, you get one of the 12-volt accessory chargers or outlets. You know, it's waterproof. It's got a cap on it. It's like $12 at Walmart. You can't beat that. And then you just get an adapter for it. And, you know, I got a 6 or 7 foot USB cable, which I have run up through there, which is more than enough, as you see it coiled up down there anyway. But it's a pretty easy system. And I think for me, for fishing, I just like to throw it in and go. And not have to worry about changing batteries or, you know, is it recording. If you get a 62 gigabyte SD card, get a class 10. Doesn't matter what gigabyte you get a class 10, and it'll run you all day. And you can shoot your video, you can stop it, you can take pictures. If you do a 32 gigabyte, if you're trying to run all day like me, you'll run out. You'll have to have 2. So, again, I just went with the 64 gig. You can find it online. There's deals on eBay and Amazon, or you can just go into a store, Best Buy, and get one. But the main thing is to get a class 10. And that's really it. Again, I was saying, you know, about the 1 and the 2. If you're going to really do some shooting where you're going to be on the water all day and just try and keep continuously shooting, get a 3. Even if you don't want the remote, you can get a remote backpack for the 2, which is basically like this, and then you have to put it on the back, and it gives you Wi-Fi capability. But if you get the 3 camera, you already have that Wi-Fi capability installed in your camera, and then that's one less accessory that you have to snap on. Because the thing about it is, as the accessories go, like I can't use this monitor and the battery backpack, or I couldn't use the Wi-Fi backpack and this monitor. So it's like one or the other. So with the 3, you know, whichever version you get, you already have Wi-Fi built in. So you get your remote capability, and you can also shoot it to your phone, which I haven't done yet, but you know, whatever. So again, that's it. I guess I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'll do another one later. One last note, the reason for the PVC tube is because being hollow, I can stuff these wires down in there, which again I can't do one-handed, but you get the gist. I stuff all the wires down in there, push them down, and then I put a cap on it, but they're not all pressed down in there. There. And then it's a cap, so then it's waterproof. I don't worry about it. And I do the same thing when I pull the other end off. I just put a cap on that side, so no moisture gets in, no water gets in, and you know, I just undo it and hook it up when I'm ready to go. Bad focus. I don't know what's going on with the focus. That's it. Sorry.